Okay, today we have this little bird box here on a pedestal. That's what I call it, pedestal. We're going to go ahead and make today for you, so we'll go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and move it out of the way. Okay, not too much lumber. There's going to be some cuts in this thing, so you have to, stick with me on some of the measurements and stuff. So, but it's really simple. It's not hard to make these. I did change that one a little bit, made it a little bit stronger because when I first made it, it just kind of came up with that, somewhat design that other people make too, but for me to make it a little bit stiffer, stronger to hold up. Now the bottom bases, I have two bottom bases. This is for the, the pedestal thing, if you want to call it pedestal. That's what it's for, and of course it'll be something like this. And then this is going to go in between. So we'll give you measurements on these. Now these boards only come in 5.5 inches, so I had to put two together. And then what I did is when I stuck together, of course I glued them really good on the inner sides. And then of course I put screws in the bottom of it. So you're not going to really see the bottom. Plus, if you paint it like I did, a lot of this is going to be painted up wood. Same thing as the bottom. So we got everything all marked out, and we're using double boards. So I'll get you the measurements on these. You can just whatever 5.5 inches on that fence board, so everything's made out of it except the centerpiece, and it's made out of 2x board. Okay, so I was just messing around here just a little bit to get ready, and then we'll go ahead and show you. But there's a few cuts when it comes to the angles, and then it's not really hard once you get those cuts marked down. So the first thing we're going to need to do, I would do, is go ahead and maybe start on the bird box thing. Let's put the pedestal part over here, because you can make this a little bit longer. If you want to make it longer or shorter, that's really great. You can change this, make it a little bit, thicker, smaller, or whatever you want. What we want to do is go ahead and grab our box, and we have a few cuts here. And then we're going to cut these two big boards right here first. Okay, so we definitely want to cut these two. Okay, first thing we're going to do is start on the bird box part itself, and then we'll go ahead and start with these two, the two big ones right here, and we'll get you the measurements off of those. And we're just going to go ahead. I have them written down, but we're going to make sure. So we got actually 16 inches, so it's going to actually be 16 inches long. Okay, and then you're going to have your 5.5 inches, so you really don't have to cut your sides off. Okay, you can just leave them 5.5. That's what the boards normally come in 5.5 inches wide, but 16 inches long. So you're gonna need two of those. Okay, and then we're gonna need a small one. This is the front bottom hole, so it's gonna go similar like this right here. And if you want to put this one on here, and it is 7 inches. So it's 7 inches this way, and then I made it 4 inches, so I made a little bit easier number on this. I made 4 inches wide. Now each one of these holes are cut 1.5 inches on forster bit. So if you got a forster bit, 1.5 inches works really well. You can go smaller if you want. Okay. And then we have the two sideboards. Now these would be the two sideboards like this right here. I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna have two sideboards like this. Okay. Now the two sideboards are 3 inches, so it's 3 inches this way. And then I got 9 inches, long, like that. So we're gonna have to use two of those, I guess. Okay. Now I understand when you buy this lumber, it's really hard to keep it from, bending up and everything. So you got to do your best on it, and then just kind of turn the bows in, like I'm going to do here. Turn them in, and then I'm going to staple that together, and then kind of squeeze it. Because I got a bottom piece here, and this bottom piece is comes out 4 1/4 by 3 1/8. So that'll be the bottom piece that goes down here like this, and then you'll put these two boards here onto the side like that. And I'm going to use 1-inch staples. You can use brads if you got brads and you don't have staple gun. Brad guns work really well. And then we have the roof part here, and now these are the 5.5 inches this way. Okay, now we got one of them. It's going to be longer than the other. So we have one that's 10 inches long, and then we have one that is 9 inches. Just go ahead and go with 9 inches. I got 9 1/8 is what I got. You can go 9 inches. People are not going to look at it anyways. And what they kind of do is they set like something like this right here. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of looks like it's straight up, something like that. And like I said, just do your best by, the bow boards. That's all you can. If you're going to work with, these fence boards, of course, you're just going to have to deal with those being bowed unless you get some that's kind of dry. I had a couple of them, like, didn't come out too bad, you know what I'm saying? But most of them come out, all bowed up. So let's go ahead and get it started. And I'm going to start, just go ahead and we'll get this box all put together. And then we'll start with the pedestal. Like I said, once you get these things cut, oh, well, let's back it up a little bit. We've got to give you angles. We didn't give you the angles. You're not going to know the angles for each one of these boards. That's the thing. Okay, let's start with the little one here. Okay, start with the center. Okay, when you get your board, your square board, you start with the center mark, and then it's 30 degrees. So you got a 30 degrees over here and a 30 degrees over here. Okay, that's your cut for that. This one here's a 22.5. Like I said, start from the center. Now I cut both of these. What I did is I cut them both at the exact same time. You know what I'm saying? So I can get the same cut. So I laid it down on the miter saw and I cut 22.5 this way, 22.5 that way. Now these two here, these are cut on 45s, but make sure you remember what way they go. The cut is. You don't want. I don't think you can get it backwards. What I did, I put the bow part in. So. And then I put the 45 on this way. See what I'm saying? So the bow parts, I'm going to try to pull them in with some, clamps or screws or nails or something like that. But this is supposed to look rough looking anyway. So, I mean, that's the way they make them, and it's just the way people like them. So it shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so make sure these are 45s, 30 degree angle on small ones, 22.5 on these big ones right here. Okay. And of course, like I said, I like using glue. So we're gonna put us some glue down on this thing. If I shoot us, I'm gonna use that top piece here. And then we'll start with our two sides here. Look at that thing. I want to make sure all my bows are on the end. And just line them up best you can. Oop, I had that one. I was worried about hitting that glue gun or glue container. And then knock this out of whack. Okay, I'll take the hammer, tap it a little bit, flip it over. I'll put more staples in it. Right now I'm just go ahead and get it started. But it's fun coming up with different things all the time. I just, I really enjoy doing that. Gives you a challenge. What to do, so it's me a good challenge, I know that. Let me go ahead and get that centerpiece stuck in there too. Come on. Glue everywhere. take care of that bow. I had to use a clamp the last time to pull these sides in. Clamps on this. Okay, wipe off the glue a little bit there. I should have had a rag, but there you go. So I wouldn't worry about, you know, if it's got any little marks or anything or staples in it, because if you paint it, you're not going to see that. I do like the staples. My compressor must not be up high. Let me get them staples down a little bit further. But I do like a little hammer like this. Works out fun. Okay, there's your box right now. So we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and put this piece here on first. The front piece. Now all I did with this piece here is I just lined it up in the middle here, and then you know, put a little mark on them, lined up at the hole like that. Let's put a little glue right here on it. Wrong way. Okay. Okay, so put the roof on. Just line it up the best you can. This one's going to go up here like this. Right there. Just staple down in there. If it don't go through my hand. There's your little roof. And then you just got to square it up, that's all. See if it goes better. See if it goes better. Does it go better with just have to put it down on there. You take the ruler and just measure it out equal on both sides. Should make a little, like a little marker or something. I know I have one here. There you go. That'll be fun. Put a little mark here. Go up a little bit more. You got it good? Good. Okay. Now I need to get the clamp on the back here. Same thing. Try to get it pulled in. Okay. Okay, there you go. Here we have this much done, and we got two little boards here. Got to put here. I'll give you measurements on those. Okay, here's your last two boards, and then I got the two little ones here. They're about 1 inch wide, and then of course the 5/8 thick is what it is. The first one is 5 1/4, and then you have one a little bit smaller, and it is about 4 1/2. So what they kind of do is the same thing the roof does. So what happens is one kind of sets a little bit higher, and then the other one just kind of, wait a minute, I got it upside down, right, just like that. So now you got a little roof right here. So okay, glue that and staple that down on there. You get your first one made, and I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be a lot of fun. Just have to take your time. Put another staple in there. Okay, so we got this much done, and that's a lot. And then you can sand it up if you want to put it on sander, block sand it, whatever you need to do. And then also, if you want, you can just go ahead and put a little, like that one, the other one I did. Let me put it back up here. It has like a little perch thing, I guess you want to call it, where the bird sets. We'll end up putting one. You can pick one out. I think I have, probably like a 3/8 rod or something like that. It's a small rod, goes in there, and then just drill it and put it right in there somewhere. Okay, but these holes now, I measured from the top. So let me go through that, because I didn't give you. I told you what I was using for the to cut it, but I didn't tell you the measurement to bring down. What I did, I made this one here a little bit different, like I said, because that's the first one I made, and so I readjusted it with this one here. So we brought it down from the top to the middle. So the middle, right where the bit would go, would be 6 inches. Drop down from 5 1/2 in the middle of 5 1/2, but 6 inches drop right in the center. And then your small one down here, let me get this one, is 4 inches. So it would be 4-inch drop from the top down, and then of course 4 inches across, that'd be 2 inches, and that would be the center. Okay, so when you're doing that, that was the best I found on it, like I said, because when I used it, I did it on this one here. It's a little bit lower on this side. So, like I said, I was just building it, and then we decided to do it this way here. So, but other than that, it come out really nice. I see some of, like I said, some of my staples didn't stay, but I'm going to paint it. I'll probably put maybe two or three coats of paint on. I'll have one. It's probably going to be gray this time, and then I'll put an undercoat gray, and then I'll put like 2 coats of white over top of it, and then when I sand it, you know, you kind of make it look like it's, you know, it's old and stuff. So, okay, so there you go. You got these 2 boards here, 1 inch. One is let me do it again. One is 5 1/4 long, and then the other one is shorter. Of course, it's 4 1/2 inches long by 1 inch thick. Okay, and then we'll run over this here in a second as soon as we get the bottom part made. It was simple, the bottom part. Like I said, you can do anything you want to do with it. So I used a 2x4, and that's all I have because I didn't want to put a bunch of the pegboards together. I didn't want to stick a bunch of them. You could if you wanted to. You could stick a bunch together, you know, and then glue it. But we just kind of use a 2x4 because we was going to paint it anyway. So I have on this one here, it is 18 inches long, 2 1/2 inches wide, and 1 3/8 inches thick. You can, like I said, you can make it any way you like. If you want to make that wider, you can make this longer. If you like, it depends on where you're going to put it. If you're going to keep it yourself and you decide to put it on a porch or something, you know, or someplace in the house, and you want a little bit higher, just go ahead and adjust this, make this longer. That'd be just great. Okay, now the 2 bottoms, and this would be the base that it's going to go for right here for this. For the bottom, for the top part's what I meant. It's going to go underneath it here. So this will be the first one that goes underneath it here like this. Okay. And then the only thing I did is I stapled that on there. And you can put screws up through it if you want. You know what I'm saying? But we got to get the pedestal made first because I need to put screws. And I'm going to put screws down through. And I've already made... I got all mine blocked. I mean, not blocked. I got them all measured out where I'm going to put the screws. And I have them countersunk. So I can countersunk them down in, you know, so it won't bother that. And then, like I said, I put screws in the bottom of it, which, you know, you're underneath here. You're really not going to see it. If you paint it, it's going to, you know, you're not going to see it either way. Same thing as the bottom. You know, I got screws, pilot screws, you know, already made on the bottom here. And so I can set this, you know, make it. But I had a little rough time trying to get this wood to, you know, keep from expanding. And that's why we kind of put all the screws and stuff through it. Okay, so the bottom, let's go. I'll give you measurement off the bottom first. Now, these are with the fence boards, the full fence boards. I did have to cut some to cut it down a little bit. So I got 11 3/4. 11 3/4. No, sorry, take that back. 10 3/4 by 10 3/4 is what I meant. Okay, let me put this over here. So I got 10 3/4, 10 3/4. So you're going to have to cut that board down if you want to get the same. Only reason I did that is because the edge of the board was, at that time, it was rough, and I kind of shaped this because, you know, this right here, it was a cut going this way with the wood, but this way it had that, you know, the original look on it. So that's what I kind of did. I put it together and then I run it on a table saw and I cut it down to 10 3/4. Okay. So, but we use 4 of these and we just crisscross them. So we run 2 this way and then we put 2 the other way, put heavy glue underneath of it, and then screw it together. But I have all mine marked out. What you got to do is find the center of the board. Of course, the center of this one's going to be where the 2 boards meet. And then, of course, the center this way here. So we have the center done. And then we're going to go ahead and then just put some screws in. I've been using about 3, I think it's about 3-inch screws is what these things are. And then, of course, like I said, you got to put some heavy glue down. Make sure you glue everything because kind of helps hold it a little bit. This is pretty good glue. I should have put so much on. I put a lot on there. I put a lot of glue on there. Well, let's just put some glue on this one here. Okay. So now we're going to get this lined up. And what I did, I I put a mark here, a square, so I can see that square, or you can put 4 marks on it, or just hold it up like this, and gonna hold it this way. Yep, messed it up again. I guess I can go ahead and just do it like this. Put me a couple staples there to hold that, and flip it up. Cracking it? Yeah, it did crack it, so we'll have to re-drill that one. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. Make sure I got it pretty squared up. Oh, I do have that thing twisted this way. It's got to go this way. Yeah. Do that again. I can't see it, so let me go here. Here you go. Yeah, there you go. Well, I didn't think I can get that on there like that. That got me to move, didn't it? It'd be easier to hold it down like that. Okay, I do have one on this bottom side I have to refix, so we're going to go ahead and re-drill this a little bit on the side there, and then put another screw down in it because I want all 4 screws in there. Okay, there you go. Now put your box on there. I would like to use a brad gun on that one. You can see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and move this one out of the road. And put this one down there. And then, see, I marked it, already got it marked where it's going to set. But I'm going to use a different gun. I'm going to use a brag gun to get me a few nails in here. Just a couple of brads in here just to hold that down. And then what I'll do, I'll end up putting some screws up through the bottom here. Just a couple. Probably one on this side, one on this side. Kind of sink them up in. Really nice thing to make. I'll tell you what, if you're deciding to make something like this, I think you'll end up enjoy making it, because it's really nice. And then once you get your pattern done, you know what all the pieces you need, it'll go real quick. But the biggest thing, I think the problem I had was the wood, you know, was wet, bowed, and you know, you keep trying to pull it in. So I actually had to put it here on a table and clamp it down with clamps, and then for a couple days to get them to dry, because they were pretty rough. You know what I mean? They kept wanting to bow on me. So there you go. That's not a bad project if you guys want to make it. Just kind of follow what I did there if you want. You can change, like I said, you can change this, the height if you like, and then paint it. If you want, you can even seen people, you know, stain it with some different types of stains. Really nice. Just a lot of different things you can do. Now the vines, if I show you this, let me get this up here. I want to explain something to you on this other one here. Let me put it here, you can see it. Now the stuff that we bought, this all came from Hobby Lobby's, where it came from. Now this is like a fake snow, and what we did with it, we put glue on it, but we used a clear glue. Some of the glue that we have here is yellow. It doesn't dry clear, so you got to watch that glue you get. So, and then we painted it green. The roof did. My wife did the other little decorations here she found. And now these vines are just from a grapevine that we have some grapes. So I mean, wanting to go up and cut them down, and so we went ahead and started using the vines. But they're nice. They're nice to have. People start buying. They do like buy this kind of stuff. So, but real easy to make. You can see it didn't take really that much on it. Just I think the biggest thing is to try to get the angles on there. You know, let me get this out of the room. That's what I think. Just that the angles are probably the hardest. And then once you get the 22.5, you have 30 degree. And then you do the same thing, 45 for the roof. Those two pieces of 45s, you know. And then, of course, your holes are 1.5 inches, both of those. Bring them down 6 inches, 4 inches center, 6-inch center. And then you can drill that little piece, what I put right here in this one here, a little piece of dowel rod. Just kind of gives it a little bit more character. You don't have to put it in there if you don't want to. You know, it's fine. But there's a lot of different things you can do with this. It doesn't have to be for Christmas. It doesn't have to be for any type of holidays. You can make it for any time of the year. You know, decoration, putting a decoration on it. It's a really nice little item to have in your house, and it seems to get very popular nowadays. So, okay, if you guys like the video, if you haven't subscribed to it, please do, and hit that like button. I really appreciate that. It helps me out a lot. You guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.